What's this? A more Cherno video? We are back for some more Cherno. Even though it's been an extremely long time, I've been busy working on my engine, Hazel. So it turns out it's pretty difficult to build a game engine. I've been doing this for a while, and yet I'm still surprised just how difficult it is. But it's okay, I've been missing doing these videos a ton, and thanks to this new camera angle, I'm actually able to make them a lot more efficiently. So we'll see if I can maybe just produce a lot more videos for this channel going forward. And I'm gonna try my best to just basically review whatever you guys ask for. So if you want me to check out something specific, I don't care if it's Xbox or PlayStation or the Ouya, I will try my best to take a look at it if it's interesting and just give you my thoughts on it. So without further ado, this is something that actually was linked to me on Twitter. A little game called Abandoned. I think the trailer for this came out like April 8th, 2021, so it's pretty new. Let's dive in and take a look at this.
Let me tell you a story. A true story. A story that could open...
All right, so first of all, it's a minute 39 seconds, right? So this clearly we're dealing with some kind of announcement teaser. So none of this could be final. And in fact, as I pause this and read the screen, you can see it's a work in progress. It does not represent final quality or images captured on PS5 at an early development stage. I just wanted to mention that like it's pretty common when game studios build games, they build these kind of tech demos almost, right? So a lot of the times what will happen is the game is still being formed by a lot of people who aren't involved with the technical development of the game. And meanwhile, the engineers are responsible for kind of, you know, doing various art tests or working with the art director to do various art tests, maybe do other kind of technology tests to see actually what the engine is capable of and you know, what the development of this game might look like and what the development of certain features might look like. So what I mean by that is just basically that what tends to happen in a lot of cases is engineers will work with some artists to build these tech demos, and they are kind of supposed to be just this really cool representation of what we can achieve. But then when the actual gameplay and all the kind of game development stuff comes in and they realize, oh wait, I can't just run this on an RTX 3090. This has to actually ship on other devices, on other platforms, on other kind of tiers of GPU architecture. Everything tends to go down a little bit. So I think it's always going to be the case that certain games are just, well, most games really that kind of push the boundary of graphics are going to look amazing during development, during E3, GDC, whatever. Not really GDC, but you know, any kind of I guess games conference where they're trying to show off stuff, or when these teasers, when these trailers go up, they're going to look amazing, but then when the game actually comes in, it might be kind of lowered. And obviously that happens a lot, you guys know that, but just wanted to give kind of an overview of why that might be.
Waking up at a place far...
All right, so let's just pause this right here. I'm just going to make sure that I'm actually on the maximum quality setting. Unfortunately, video compression is going to absolutely destroy this footage. So this is like I can already, there's just artifacts everywhere, right? So that's a shame. But immediately, obviously, the amount of detail here is extremely impressive. I mean, we've basically seen this game for like a frame so far, but it looks amazing. Which is kind of what I would expect. Yeah, this is...
far away from home.
Look at all that lighting as well. I mean, nothing too revolutionary here. Sometimes when there's so much detail, it's actually really difficult to see what kind of lighting is happening and what, I don't know, what kind of other effects are going on. Because like in this frame, again, as we look through this, like there's so much detail and there's so much kind of almost noise. And that coupled with the actual video compression and all of the artifacts that we get from that means that, you know, is there global illumination here? There's no way of telling even, you know what I mean? It's that kind of grainy and noisy almost with the amount of detail that there is here. Actually kind of reminds me, that what I'm saying there kind of reminds me a little bit of the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo where, you know, obviously there was so much kind of mesh detail that they actually had there, that they had some kind of pipeline for just culling all of those triangles down and decimating, you know, all of those triangles. I mean, I'm just going off memory here, but because they had so much data, but then at the end of the day, if you're rendering on like a full HD or a 4K kind of display, you know, you're stuck with like, you know, for full HD, like 2 million pixels that you kind of have to decide the color of, you know, what each pixel will be. And so when you have that much source data that could be scaled up and could represent so many different pixels, but then you have to kind of sort through all that because as stuff moves further away as well, obviously, it can contribute less and less pixels. Things further away are smaller. And that's kind of, I almost feel like it's kind of like all the geometry, all the detail kind of in these scenes, if I go back a little bit, are like fighting for attention in a way for like what that final kind of pixel in that area is going to result to being, which is kind of a problem with all this detail. But also, am I seeing some kind of... The cat has appeared. Almost looks like some weird motion blur or something on those twigs.
Away from safety. Trying to understand how you
just caught this water bottle just falling down from the cat. Look at these god rays. This is
away from safety.
That's pretty standard, but it just always looks good. You know, you want to spice up a shot, just chuck some like sun rays, god rays, whatever you want to call them in there.
Trying to understand how you got there. No one there to guide you.
All right, cat is leaving.
Trying to understand how you got there. No one there to.
This I don't know what it is about this frame, but this looks kind of average to me. Again, it just looks like excessive amounts of detail, and I'm saying excessive because this feels almost noisy to me. And the thing is, unfortunately, I'm gonna say this again. It is impossible, unfortunately, for you to appreciate this in a YouTube video. I don't know if they have a link to like some uncompressed or very low level compression video, but this is just, I feel like this is just one of those games that, you know, with the amount of detail here that you actually need to be sitting on a PlayStation 5 hooked up to a 4K TV, and then you'll probably look at this frame and be like, my goodness, this is amazing.
Guide you. No one there to assist you. No food, no water. You've got nothing.
So you can see the motion blur as I try and pause this. A little bit annoying for trying to analyze this frame by frame, but it's definitely there. Probably like Unreal Engine as well,
Water.
if I had to guess.
Got nothing to survive. But the complicated part.
Yeah, it looks really good. By the way, this is what I was talking about. This so far is a tech demo of an environment. Like, we have this environment here. Someone's built this level. Someone's put a lot of detail into it. No gameplay, probably no physics. Like, maybe there's some very basic kind of, you know, player character colliding with the terrain kind of thing. But it's all extremely simple. It's just the whole budget has gone, like the whole frame budget, meaning like the processing of the PS5 has just gone into rendering this scene with the amount of detail that they have. So it's going to be very interesting to see this with all the gameplay. But again, it looks like a tech demo of just, hey, I built this cool detailed environment, check it out. Well, it is a teaser, but you know, that's what we're seeing so far.
Well, you were prey. Powerless, thirsty.
The shadows are not very good. Gonna be honest. They feel kind of low resolution. Probably not ray traced. I don't imagine they would be ray traced.
Well, you were prey. Powerless.
Because they look very blocky to me.
Thirsty and
I mean, they could be. It almost looks like kind of out of focus shadows. It's difficult to tell, but
prey. Of a
they don't look that great.
Loving community led by a religious nut job. A false prophet that will do anything for power, anything for wealth.
That looks cool. That looks realistic.
When you realize this, you know it's the...
Again, like, note how much detail there is here. Like, I always tell people, like, when they're kind of, I teach students as well, and I kind of mentor them through making, like, games and engines and all that stuff. And one of the things that I always say is that a scene needs so much in it, you know, a lot of the time. It depends what game you're making, but if we're talking about something like this photorealistic kind of style scene, like this one here, the amount of detail that is in nature, if you take a photo of a forest and you actually look through it, like, there's a surprising amount of stuff going on, you know, and you can see, if we go back to this frame here, just how many trees there are. Like, there are so many trees, right? This is just Tree City here. That's part of the reason why this looks so real. If there were like 50 or 100 or even 1,000 maybe trees here, it would look kind of not that great. But because there are trees behind trees behind trees, there's so many layers of trees that when you look at like this area here, for example, you know, you really do see the result of like seeing through all of these trees in your peripheral vision, and it feels so full. And that's what gives this like quite the realistic vibe, because there's not much going on in terms of shading and stuff. There's like a little bit of mist. The color grading almost looks a little bit kind of warm and kind of old school, and the angle as well is just looking up at the sky, which looks kind of blown out. The color balance, like the balance between like the exposure here, does look pretty cool and pretty realistic, like a photo would look, or a video would look. But in terms of actual lighting, you know, there's not even that much here, but yet it looks photorealistic because of the composition of the shot.
But you will never accept this.
Smoke looks kind of
You will
meh.
fight for a way out.
All right, and that's pretty much all we have here, I think. Oh, there's a little bit more towards the end. Q4 this year. Okay. Well, oh, here we go. This is me, or does this just look like it's lagging? Gameplay reveal coming soon. Just wanted to take a look at that. Yeah, so like, again, you know, the skin here looks very, like, this guy looks like a mannequin. I mean, I know this is, I'm probably going too far with my analysis here, but it does kind of look like a mannequin here. That looks very, I don't know, not organic here. The gun looks great. I love the reflections off of the gun. It's really difficult to see exactly what it's reflecting. You know, I don't know if they're doing ray trace reflections or not, but if they did have like this, like if they were doing ray trace reflections, and so they had like, you know, the acceleration structure set up and everything, I feel like this would be a fantastic candidate to just use ray trace reflections for, just for the sake of being like, hey guys, look, here's a gun. It's going to make the scene look so much better because it's reflecting everything really well. And it's very difficult to see. That could literally just be reflecting an environment map at this point in time. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty cool looking game. I know nothing about the game. This really was the definition of a teaser. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good, but to me, it does feel like a little bit of a tech demo. I always like seeing a little bit more of like gameplay or just a little bit more substance, because this almost looks like, again, one of those like Unreal Engine scenes that you would just download like from the asset store or from the Unreal Engine asset store. I don't know if it's called an asset store, but anyway, you download from the asset store and then you check it out and it's just this filled environment, because that's what it feels like to me. It's literally just an environment, and it's just a natural environment as well. I don't think there were any like man-made structures here really at all. So yeah, very, very kind of very what's the right word? Very kind of loose idea of a game here. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, and I'm actually kind of intrigued to see the gameplay trailer, just because this to me was just absolutely there's nothing here at all. So I'm looking forward to the gameplay trailer. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. And as I mentioned, if you have any suggestions for what you'd like me to check out next time, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And my cat is about to unplug everything, so I'm gonna end the video here. See you guys.